Oh, Lord. Hey guys, how are you? We'll get started in 30 seconds. Hey everyone, great to see you. It is a balmy Tuesday evening here in the Heartland. And for those of you who may not know me, I am Bren Harris, the Warrior Mom. It's official. And we founded Warrior Moms when my son was medically injured at 22 months of age. And I want to make sure our Facebook crew is over here and our Instagram crew. Let me know in the comments if you can see me on either one of those platforms. We are streaming across all platforms, so don't worry if there's only a handful of people on the platform you're on. We are on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And I am so excited. I never intended to have a podcast that competes with the presidential debate tonight. So we will make this really short and sweet. And we're talking about finding your tribe. So as I was saying, I founded Warrior Moms by Bren when my son was medically injured at 22 months of age. We have walked through hell. Now we walk through it like we own the place, and you can too, because your story matters. Now, tonight we're talking about finding our tribe. While we're getting into this and we're warming up, let us know where you're chiming in from in the chat. And if you are listening to this later, on a cloud stream or Vimeo or whatever, just know that you can look these American Sign Language things up on, hey guys, good to see you, on YouTube. And what has happened is my son, that's how he learns new words. And yes, I am toggling between each platform here, just making sure we're live. Hey, hi from Florida. Aslan. Good to see you. Miss Tennille from Georgia. Good to see you. And we are here to say, hey, this is our 80th episode. I cannot believe that. If anyone had told me a year ago I would be having my 80th episode on a podcast streaming across multiple platforms to multiple countries, I'd be saying, who are you talking about? I am here to say we can do anything when we set our mind to it. And we have a really cool episode. I am so excited. We're talking awareness, acceptance, and action, and how that folds into and facilitates us finding our tribe. We find our tribe. What does that mean? Well, I am the Warrior Mom, officially trademarked, and we are here to say you can, everything is figure outable. Shout out to Marie Forleo. And we know that we can see the problem, turn it over to higher power, do our part, and walk in faith and consistency and purpose, because we walk in purpose while championing our calling. I would have never chosen this journey ever, ever. I would never trade it for the world, because it's not about arriving. It's about becoming. It's who we become as we walk out our purpose. Yes, episode 80. So thanks, guys. I appreciate that. And I don't always claim to know exactly how to do this. I just know that when we step out, we find out. And we find that we can step into our purpose, and we can walk in our calling and champion this life we are called to serve in. Now, I'm going to get to this. So we have awareness, and I do American Sign Language, and that's just sort of our workaround. I love what Jim Quick says: when the body moves, the mind grooves. So we have awareness. So if you find yourself, awareness is just acknowledging, just recognizing that something's happening. Now, I like to talk about toxic relationships, because a lot of things around my son's diagnosis is very misunderstood. And if you've met one person with a different ability, not a disability, then you've met one person. Yes, when we step out, we find out. And I awareness. Now, I have been in conversations with people I know, like, and trust, but I'm growing and they're not. And I'm going, wow, this is not very productive. And I just go like this. They go, do you have a headache? What's going on? I go, that's the sign for awareness. It's sort of a half salute. Awareness. We call this the triple A's. I don't know if there's a cooler name, let me know. And so we do awareness, and that's recognizing it. Someone gaslights you and you go, oh, that's what they're doing. You might be right. I'm willing to consider that. Boom. Takes the steam out of them, because we're here to walk in purpose. We are not here to be sucked into other people's drama. Okay, so we have awareness, then we have acceptance. It's sort of like accepting a gift. And I'm trying not to hit the mic here. Acceptance, just acceptance. Thank you. Thank you. Acceptance. So we have awareness. We're just recognizing what's going on. And then we have acceptance. We accept the situation as it is. And I like to say, staying in our own lane. We stay in our own lane. And what I mean by that, think of the bumpers on a bowling alley. My son loves to do this, but I want the bumpers too, because I don't want a terrible score. So you have little bumpers and they're going to keep the ball in the lane. Well, that's what we do. When we are having awareness and we're accepting the situation as it is and knowing we are not responsible for other people, places, and things. Hear me. We are never responsible for other people, places, and things. And what I mean by that is we're not going to own their trauma or their toxicity or their need to always be right. We're just, you might be right. I'm willing to consider that. We're staying in our own lane because we're aware, and then we're going to accept things as they are, and knowing that we can only control what's in our lane. Okay, hear me. That's worth repeating. We can only control what's in our lane, and that's how we feel, how we act, and how we are aware. Now, we are finding our tribe. One of the biggest things I realized when I started hanging around and communicating and networking with one percenters, especially women, it's full of abundance. We're not talking about anybody else. We're not talking about other people, places, or things. We're talking about goals and how we can help each other get there. And that's a big deal, because our world is all about drama, Kardashians, etc. So here we're saying, hey, we're aware. We're aware. Now we're going to accept it as we are. Hey guys, good to see you. Please let us know in the chat where you're chiming in from. And if you're on the live, put an L. And if you're on the replay, put an R. So we've talked about acceptance, awareness, and acceptance. And that leads us to the third triple A, and that's action. I always think when I hear that word, no matter where I am, I think of movie studios where they're like, and action. And you hear the little thing, and action. Well, we learned this week that I was working on my phone, because that when we're at therapies or at school or at a field trip, that's how I do a lot of my video editing. So I taught my son video editing. I go, buddy, I'm not playing on my phone. I'm not ignoring you. Mom's working to help people so that we can have the freedom we are called to have. And he goes, okay. And it was really cool, because this is new season of awareness for him. And then awareness, acceptance, and then we're going to do action is just like this. So super simple, action. And we have action. And action means when we do things, we are not reacting. Hear me. We are not reacting. We are taking intentional action. Let me give you an example. We battled our local school district for 10 years, had to have an attorney on retainer to go to every IEP, individual education plan meeting. It was a nightmare. A few parents in our community decided to take legal action against the school. I had no idea until it was already full steam, and they, through a friend of a friend of a friend, found out about our story. And after 10 years of battling this specific school district, I got to testify and tell our whole ugly story about how children outside the bell curve have been marginalized and abused, and that we can make a difference. Now that case actually was escalated to the state Supreme Court, and the parents won that lawsuit against our local school district, which is really known to be one of the better school districts, but not if your child's not in the bell curve, if you hear what I'm saying. Okay, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, let me know. Let me know in the chat and say AAA, awareness. Then we're going to accept. Then we're going to take action. We are not victims. Hear me. We are not victims. We are here to step into, walk in purpose, and champion our calling. When we walk in a room, we are not reflecting the energy in the room. We are influencing that energy in the room. And I am a firm believer that once we lock arms and we are doing this together, because we're stronger together, that nothing else can get in the way. I don't always trust the process. And as my mentor says, trust the process, because we're documenting what works. We're driving that, we're collecting that data, and then we're driving success. Now, one of the things that I am learning is that this is not the behind the scenes stuff, the becoming work that we do personally. It's not flashy. It's not, I know, AAA, yeah. It's not flashy. It's sometimes it's not very sexy. It's necessary, because just like that cute little Bible story or that song, we want to build our house to succeed, not a house of cards that's going to fall at the first sign of resistance. We're building our house on solid foundation so that we know we can survive whatever life throws at us. Now, I don't have all the answers, but I do know that we are talking about finding our tribe. Now, why are we talking AAAs when we're talking about finding our tribe? We don't want just any tribe. We don't want just any tribe. We want the right tribe. Hey, I'm seeing some 1%ers on here. Great to see you, ladies. Let us know in the chat if you're getting value. Please put value. And if you would like to know a little bit more about what we are doing in our journey, please share this with another parent. There are so many parents that don't know how to navigate the system when they have a child outside the bell curve. And it is so important to find that tribe, that community. Another thing our mentor always says is that willpower will never trump community. And that is truth. We can say, I'm doing this. I'm going to call 100 people today. I'm going to make this a success. No, we're stepping into and becoming the success, and like attracts like. Now, that's worth repeating. If you are a note taker, write that down. We are in the process of becoming. And as a rising tide lifts all boats, a rising tide lifts all boats. I am not here to tell my family or my close circle how they can change their life. I am working, I'm staying in my own lane, and I am elevating my game, and everyone else around me rises. And I've seen this. I've been at this solid hardcore for 2 years. And I really didn't want to share my story until I realized so many people need to know they're not alone. And when we're finding our tribe, we're talking about the 1% mentality. It's abundance. We're talking about goals. We're working toward those goals every single minute of every single day. And we're dividing our day into 3 8-hour segments. Some people call it 888. Some people call it 3-in-1. And we are making the most of each 8-hour segment in our day. Now, I do have a masterclass coming up. And we are here to talk about unleashing your inner warrior. We will talk about multiple levels of that: spiritual, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial. I find that most of the time, in 10 years of walking this road with my son being diagnosed on the autism spectrum, I've been to hundreds of support meetings. I've seen one man, one dad. And so that's usually for a variety of reasons. One parent is more involved than the other. And that's why we're talking warrior moms. Let's unleash our inner warrior, our inner prayer warrior, our inner financial warrior. Hear me. And we are here to let's find a way to get those grants and enlist the help that will help us provide what we need for our children as well as ourselves. I believe those airline speeches, put the mask on yourself first, because a rising tide lifts all boats. When I am clicking on all cylinders and I am centered and walking in purpose, my son's behavior is a 180 difference. It's amazing. And everyone around us benefits from that. Now, this masterclass, save the date, it is on September 24th at the same time as this podcast. Please share it. It is in the link in my bio on both Instagram and on Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, just shoot me a DM and let me know where you want me to send the link. Yes. And we are in the process of becoming, and I would love for you to join our tribe and let's become together. Remember, be authentic, legendary, and unapologetically you. Warriors, unite.